Hi, I'm Katie and I have just completed an IT application specialist with Qdos and I'm currently working for Affitto estate agents.
Hello Katie, my name is Elena from Qdos Training and I would be interviewing Katie on the subject of her apprenticeship experience. So you work for Affitto letting company?
Yes.
And what is your job role?
Basically, what my job involves is taking phone calls from prospective tenants, dealing with emails that I might receive, helping out with maintenance, drawing up leases and making sure everything's ready for new move-ins and making sure that all the paperwork's up to date.
Right, and when did you start with Affitto?
I started at the start of this year, so right back in January.
So let's take you right all the way to the beginning and find out why did you make a decision to try out an apprenticeship?
Well, basically I was having a change of career. So previously I had worked and studied at college to work with children and in childcare. So basically I chose to come to the apprenticeship programme because I didn't have any experience. And I felt the best way to gain that experience and show that you're willing to learn is to go for an apprenticeship.
And how did you find out about this specific vacancy?
Mainly I was applying for positions through the internet and the job sites, and basically I came across this through the Leicester Mercury website. And I spoke to connections to see what they sort of thought was available and what was on offer, and I decided to come through the Leicester Mercury and go direct with Qdos.
Right, so you sent your CV in?
Yeah.
And you were offered an interview?
Yes.
And how many vacancies have you applied for altogether?
Altogether I'd probably applied for 8 to 10 vacancies, but obviously coming through the apprenticeship programme, it gave me the chance to sort of do the training on the job and gain the skills that I didn't have for the other positions that I'd applied for.
Right, so was it the first apprenticeship vacancy you applied for?
Yeah.
Right. So obviously your employer liked your CV and you've been invited for an interview. What preparation did you do for your interview?
I mainly researched the company through the internet, so that when I arrived at my interview I've shown that I've got a bit of knowledge on the company, what they do, whether they're a large or a small business, and it shows that I was looking, and I didn't just turn up to the interview with no knowledge. It showed that I actually made a bit of effort from my side before, even though it was just an interview process.
So what was your interview like?
It was okay, quite nice and relaxed, and when I left I felt that it went really good, and I liked the company and the employer, so I sort of left feeling really happy and that I was comfortable and it had gone well.
So when do you think your employer decided to give you the job?
I did have a little experience from obviously working before, which I think benefited me because I sort of knew what people expected of you. But then in the interview I feel that I also came across as hard working, and because I've done the research I think I showed that I'm willing to be part of the company and a team player.
Right. So you've started with Affitto.
Yeah.
First couple of months, how was it different from other jobs and other things you've experienced?
The main difference was it gave you a bit more time to get to grips with things. So people wasn't expecting you to be able to do everything straight away. They weren't expecting to come to you and say, make me this spreadsheet, and you'd just be able to do it, because they understand that they've taken on an apprentice and that you need a little more time and support from everybody in order to achieve it. But then as you do achieve it, you've gained those skills, and in future you can help your employer further because you've already got that skill that you've gained from the start.
So what different skills did you have to use here as opposing to your childcare career?
Mainly when I worked with children, there wasn't a great deal of sort of paperwork involved, and telephone calls. So the main things were gaining experience with telephone manner and with writing skills mainly, because before it was more a physical job, and this position you needed to present yourself well over the phone rather than not always face to face.
How did you find that? Was that stressful to start with?
I'd say sort of the very first day I was a little bit stressed because people were sort of calling up and you're a bit nervous, but sort of everybody helped me to feel more relaxed, and they talked me through each time, like, how did you find that, and they gave me example phone calls, so they would answer some and let me just listen, so the pressure wasn't all on me. It was sort of, you have a try and we'll have a try, and it sort of helped me to feel more relaxed.
Right, so you were supported quite well by your employer.
Yeah.
And when did you feel that you got to grips with things? When you would come through the door and you know what you should be doing, how you should be doing it without any outside help?
I'd say with my sort of main roles, which would be answering the telephone and sending out any email requests that we got, and calling people back, I'd say I felt quite comfortable within the first sort of 2 to 3 months. So I'd say I sort of, with the support I had, it enabled me to obviously pick things up quickly. I got more time from my employer to help me gain the skills that I needed at the start.
Right, and what would you say was your biggest achievement with Affitto?
I would probably say sort of progressing in the company, so going from just sort of dealing with the telephone calls to taking on dealing with maintenance myself, so that involved liaising more with the landlords and the tenants for their problems, and then getting to go out further with my employer to actual viewings, so it gave me even more experience, and getting to do move-ins and having people come into the office and deal with me directly, so it was like being promoted within the company.
So your duties have progressed from when you started to when they're now?
Yeah, I've been given more responsibility, because obviously I've shown that I'm willing to learn, that I'm capable, so I was given more responsibility as a reward.
And what do you feel was your greatest achievement as far as your employer concerned?
I would probably say one of my greatest achievements for the company was a maintenance issue that arose recently, where a boiler broke down, and it was quite a big emergency because there was water coming directly out of the boiler. It was going on the floor, and the tenants did have a young baby in the house, and it stopped the hot water working. So within 4 days I managed to get a plumber out that day to switch the water off to stop the leak, and I managed to liaise with the landlord and the tenant and the plumber to make sure everybody was happy, that everybody was sort of looked after and felt that they were being well looked after, and get a new boiler fitted within 4 days' time.
Oh, right, excellent. And what were the biggest challenges for you at this job?
I would say the biggest challenges is probably sort of not having the skills that you sort of need, but at the same time it's not too much of a big challenge because you've got that extra support. But again, I was more comfortable not having the skills going on the apprenticeship programme, because I knew that I had support coming in from other places, rather than starting a new job and getting in a whole panic because I'm expected to do things that I can't do.
Moving back to your apprenticeship with your training provider, Qdos training, you were obviously working in the estate agent environment, and you were studying IT skills to do with Microsoft Office. How did that knowledge complement your estate agency position?
It mainly helped with Excel, So what it meant that I could do is create a spreadsheet for expenses that come into the company. Obviously we go out on viewings, so we use fuel, so all things like that need to be logged, and how much, and a total at the end of the month. So the spreadsheets were a big help for the company, and it meant that I could put that into place for them and sort of really help the company out. And also with the formulas, not all the team members sort of had the knowledge of everything, or if an error message came along, and with my training it enabled me to sort the problems and support the other team members, as well as for me to learn it as well.
Alright, so you've introduced new systems using your
Yeah.
IT skills, and you've supported other people. That's pretty big.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously having an employer and a training provider supporting you in the apprenticeship, has it felt different to just having a full-time position in your job?
Yeah, I would say it has felt different, because I'd say it's a bit more laid back, so it gives you that extra time. I also think people that are looking to employ are more understanding, and I just think it's a really great experience for anybody to undertake as a starting point, because they've got a lot of support to offer you, and they're not just going to shout at you if you can't do something. They're always there to help you along. They're not expecting you to be able to do everything straight away.
So you finished your apprenticeship now, and you have been offered a full-time position with
Yes.
your employer.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would have got that position if you didn't go the apprenticeship route first?
I don't believe that I would have, because I didn't have the skills that were required for the position, and now I have a wide range of skills that are involved in admin and in a state agency. So it sort of opens up more doors for the future. I could progress in a company, but I can also work in admin or in a state agency in lettings, because I have experience for both areas, so it's given me a lot more skills.
Excellent. So that apprenticeship year, in financial terms, obviously apprenticeship wage is £2.65 an hour now. How did you cope with this wage?
Well, basically, I think if you're coming away from college or from school, then obviously it's a lot more than you would have had just taking on a college course and doing a placement, whereas there you're not really offered any finance. Here you are offered a wage, and with it being lower, it does mean that you get more support and that you can take things that little bit slower to make sure that you understand the full job, really. And you get a lot of support obviously from family members. I was lucky enough to have support from them along the way as well.
So do you feel that it's been worth it, that apprenticeship year for you?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely been worth it, because I've got the skills that I need to do my job. I've moved on in the company from where I originally started, and I can help anybody else that may come into the business and work for us as well, and offer them the support that I had. And as you sort of reach towards the end of your apprenticeship, you sort of look back and think, well, I've achieved that, and I've still got a wage every month, so it does benefit you in the end.
So what would be your advice to a person considering college, apprenticeship, university, job straight away?
I would say that an apprenticeship is probably a very good idea, mainly because if you're going to go to college and study, you can do the same study through an apprenticeship, but you earn at the same time, and it also gives you get more responsibility, and it's far better than, say for example, being unemployed. Right back at the start you might not know what you want to do in the future years to come, but it gives you a good experience and the chance to sort of explore and see what's available by doing the apprenticeship programme and still earn at the same time.
Alright, well thank you very much, Katie.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you.